Hey, thanks for joining and for the privilege of your time. Over these next 5 videos, we are going to give our comprehensive review of our 2022 Nautitech 46 Open. We are going to cover quality and sailing and comfort. We're going to talk about the design aspects of the boat, and we are going to, in our final video, let you know the top 3 things each of us have that we'd like to see in our next catamaran should we decide to buy one, as well as let you know if we would consider Nautitech again.
In these 5 videos, we're going to give you a his and her viewpoint. Mike and I see things differently, and we approach different topics differently. So hopefully you'll find value in both sides.
I want to preface all this by saying that neither Shireen nor I are an expert boater, sailor, or boat builder. These opinions that we are offering, we had developed over 3 years of cruising extensively in the Bahamas. I want to thank the O'Kellys, who we had the privilege of meeting in Georgetown. Nick and I had a fairly long discussion, and he was quite knowledgeable, and in fact, I have to give a lot of credit to this video series to him. We talked a lot about how YouTubers and influencers don't really review their boats in great details, and so I thought that this video series might be helpful to many. So hopefully you get something out of it. Thank you so much, and thanks again, Nick, for the idea. I do want to ask that if you happen to like this video before you go, please hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells. It would really mean a lot to us, and it really helps a lot.
And thank you for those who have subscribed, because we love making these videos.
Awesome. So let's get into it. Hey, this first video is all about quality, and we're going to try our best to be as comprehensive as possible, covering the hull and the deck, the electronics, the standing rigging and running rigging, and everything else. In this video series, we are going to do our best to give a balanced assessment of our vessel. And while it may seem from time to time that we are showing perhaps more of the challenges or the issues related to the boat, the fact of the matter is that a much more significant portion of the boat is right than is wrong. By orders of magnitude. There are so many areas about the boat that have been well executed, have had top-notch quality. You know, we've owned the vessel now since we took possession in basically February of 2021, and we've sailed 3 seasons on her now, basically in the Bahamas, extensively, basically 6, 7, 8 months at a time, and so we have we've had a lot of time on the boat and have fixed a lot of things. When I was looking for catamarans, I paid attention to what the coring was for the hull and the deck. I read that foam cored hulls were much more robust should you get a hull breach to water intrusion and spreading throughout the hull, causing delamination and other structural issues. And so Nautitech has a foam cored hull, and that was something that was really important to us. With regards to overall strength of the hull, it seems like our 46 Open is pretty strong. We've been in some pretty serious seas, and at no time did we ever notice any significant flexing. We've not noticed any issues with regards to our bulkheads. We feel it's pretty safe. The deck quality is probably the area in which we've had the most issues. There's been a couple issues, actually, and in fact, a lot of other Nautitech 46 Open owners have noted them as well on the forum page. There are some instances around where I find that the rigidity of the deck is perhaps lacking. It feels a little soft under the foot. For example, coming down off the cabin top in front of the mast, there are a couple lockers, and those doors are cored. And there are a couple of areas on the non-skid where you can see a divot where somebody's heel had come down quite heavily probably and kind of dented in that coring material. The other issue that we have had is with regards to the non-skid, and the non-skid has, in places, if you look at it very closely, you'll see that the ridges of the non-skid have kind of worn off, and it's most pronounced in the cockpit area, obviously, where there's a lot of wear and tear. However, it's also elsewhere on the deck. This is an issue. It seems like it's an issue with regards to quality, and other people online have noticed this as well. In fact, this issue started showing up really, really early in the boat's age. And so Nautitech is actually going to cover a remedy of this under warranty. And so if you're interested in what that happened to be, let us know, and we'll be happy to talk about it. In addition to that, I've also had to shore up the starboard sugar scoop underneath. I've had to kind of fill it in with epoxy, glass-filled epoxy and whatnot, because it started to creak a little bit. There was no other issues related to that, but it just was kind of annoying. Every time you got on and off the boat, you'd hear this creak. It just doesn't sound as solid as I think it should be. Overall, I find the standing rigging on the Nautitech 46 Open to be oversized and very robust. I've been on a few other catamarans, and I've been taking a look at what is on those boats, and comparatively speaking, it seems oversized, and I'm quite pleased with that. The chain plate is very large. The turnbuckles seem to be oversized. The gauge of the wire seems to be much higher than I've seen on other boats as well. So it seems very robustly built. Specific to the running rigging, it all seems to be adequately sized. There have been a few instances where we have kind of increased the size of the blocks, one of which is for the Solent roller furling. There was a block back towards the winch that we've increased the size of it because we've accidentally blew it out. And the other of which is we've replaced the low friction ring at the bow of the boat for the roller furling with a traditional block. The result has been much lower friction overall when furling the sail. One of the great features, I think, of the boat is that all the lines, with exception of the continuous line furler, run back to the cockpit. And I think that's absolutely awesome and super, super safe, especially when you are shorthanded sailing and making long passages. All lines run back to the cockpit does come with a certain compromise, and that is there's a number of blocks and deck organizers and that sort of thing between the base of the mast and back at the winches, and that all those blocks cause additional friction. So there are certain things like dropping the mainsail that kind of require one of us to be up at the mainsail to kind of help pull it down the mast. Coming back to the Jenniker continuous line furler, that line initially just came back at the bow of the boat, and that there's a cleat up there where you can actually cleat off that continuous line furler line and prevent the sail from unfurling itself. I find actually going up on the deck, especially in rough seas, to be really challenging, and so I'm in the process of running that continuous line furling line back to the cockpit. There are a number of challenges with that, and I think ultimately I'll probably do a video on how I kind of solve those challenges, but we have a prototype working, and actually it works awesome. It is so much easier to furl and unfurl a sail from the cockpit with this change. So if Nautitech is listening, I think that should be something that they figure out how to do, especially on all future boats that they produce. The two tracks on top of the saloon roof are for Code Zero, and that was an option for us. My understanding, unfortunately, is that they didn't adequately reinforce those tracks, and so you can't use it for a larger sail like a Genoa or that sort of thing. So I haven't yet pulled down the saloon panels to actually confirm that, but that's what I've heard from the Facebook group. My question to Nautitech is, why didn't you just reinforce them? There is a tremendous amount of force on these blocks when you have a full sail out and you're sailing in 20 knots, and so you can kind of see where the gel coat is starting to spider here. I don't think that this is really a safety issue. I think it's just flexing ever so slightly. I've gone underneath and it doesn't look like the block is pulling through or anything, but still, it would have been nice to see this not happen, I think. I actually don't mind this, but I know a lot of people do not like it. But there's a track here that adjusts the tension, I guess the luff, I'm not sure, on the head sail. I actually don't mind it, but unfortunately we have to take the head sail down, and as a result you need to take this, undo it, which is not a big deal, but you got to take it all the way up through the sheave in the end of the mast so you can lower the the furler, that has proven to be a big pain in the butt, because this eye is so wide, it doesn't really get out of the sheave very easily, and it requires a significant amount of force. And everybody has the same problem. It just seems like a design issue to me. Specific to the electronics on the Nautitech 46 Open, our electronics are largely B&G. So we have one 12-inch Zeus inside the salon, and we have two 9-inch displays at each of the helm stations. We also have a multifunction sailing display at each helm station as well. I've never used B&G before, but I'm actually quite pleased with it. We've had no significant issues with them other than the fact that on random occasions the autopilot would not or cease to work, or one of the multifunction displays would stop working. It's not a significant problem. I think it might have happened a handful of times in the 3 years that we've owned the boat, but my understanding is this is not something uncommon for B&G, nor is it uncommon for any other multifunction display manufacturer. We have an Aramar paddle wheel and temperature sensor on Nautitech 46 Open, and it has already failed. My understanding is the temperature sensor on these units is an NTC resistor, and it wasn't adequately encapsulated to prevent against water intrusion. So as a result, it reads 95, 100 degree Fahrenheit water continuously.
One of the things I wanted to talk about was the floors. I'm not sure what the floors of WOW 1 are made out of, the inside floors in the salon and in the cabins. They look great. They clean up really, really well. No problems there. Except if you drop anything on them, they leave huge dents. And I don't understand that because it's a sailboat. And when you're sailing, you drop things naturally because of the sea state. Let's talk about cabinets. The cabinets on WOW 1, again, no idea what the material is made out of, but they're fabulous. They wipe up really, really clean. It doesn't matter if it's water stains, oil stains, suntan lotion stains, you name it. A little multi-purpose cleaner, you just wipe it down with a micro fleece cloth. Amazing. Very, very, very clean, like brand new. 2 thumbs up for the cabinets on WOW 1. Let's talk about the salon cushions. The material we picked was a fake leather, and we thought that would last a lot longer based on water and suntan lotion and just natural wear and tear. We thought the material would last, 5-10 years. But we're on season 3, and right now it's peeling, it's shedding, it looks terrible, and it's all over the floors, like flaking off all over the floors. It's awful. We need to replace it this year. Let's talk bathroom fixtures. All the bathrooms in WOW 1 have a cracked window open most of the time, except when we're under sail. And we're on anchor or docked 90% of the time. And because, I guess, of the salt air and the salt water exposure, they're all pitted, they're discolored, they really, really look horrible. And I think Nautitech should have done a better job with them. They know the environment that we're going to be living in. And I don't know. To me, I'm not happy with the bathroom fixtures. It drives me crazy. And if you can think of a way or know of a way for me to make them sparkle like brand new again, please leave a comment down below because I would love to hear your opinions on this. They drive me crazy. They always look dirty. I do want to add, all these things I'm talking about is just my opinion, and it obviously has to do with how we use the boat. And we've had lots of visitors, which we love, but that also wears and tears on a boat. So I just wanted to, have a disclaimer that this is just Shireen's opinion on what would make a better boat for her. Overall, I think the quality of WOW 1 is pretty darn good. There's some definite opportunities for Nautitech to make a little better. I think even for our price point, I think the things I've mentioned should be improved upon.
Everybody who has a Nautitech 46 Open complains about this, and that is water getting inside the engine compartments. I believe it gets in at least two different ways. The first of which is the Dometic engine controls. They are really prone to water ingress, and in fact, this coming year we are going to replace them. The second, I believe, is also due to weather stripping issues around the hatches and it being poorly placed and not really sealing effectively against the two surfaces. All right. This is another issue that really I think is kind of poorly designed and poorly installed. To protect the fiberglass from the chain, they install this plastic, I'm not sure what it's made out of, high density plastic, and they screwed these panels in. I've had to go through and kind of put more screws in and oversize them because they've stripped out, and this is not going to be the last time I fix this because it basically just needs to be replaced altogether. So I can't really video this, at least what I'm talking about, but essentially we have the generator running right now, and it has a water inlet. The water inlet notoriously gets clogged on our boat. It gets all kinds of seagrass and stuff sucked up into it, and which then eventually starves the engine of water, and then it shuts off. And so you got to go in and under the water, and you got to take a coat hanger and stuff like that and try to get the seaweed out. I think the water inlet is too small because the strainer is not really doing its job. These Dometic shades and screens, they are the worst thing ever. I've already tried to replace this under warranty, and it's actually just as bad, if not worse, than the previous one. Again, I think this is a Dometic quality issue, but not all of them are this bad, and some of them seem like they're better than others. So there definitely does seem to be some installation aspect to how well they work or not. These Japsco switches, I can't stand, and I don't know whether it's the design of the system or what, but they seem like the contacts get corroded, and then the solenoid for the water doesn't work, or the macerator pump for pumping out doesn't work, or that sort of thing. We have these sun covers that we bought from Nautitech, and they have snaps. They're basically attached with these, the mating part of the snap is attached to this with adhesive, and I've had to fix these a number of times, and they basically, essentially in the heat and everything, they eventually pull off. All right, the quality of this Lazy Jack sail cover, I think, is really limited, or insufficient in my view. This thing is not that old, and you can already see that it's kind of wearing through. The other thing is this zipper has always been a pain in the AWS, and ironically, it was a pain in the AWS on our Catalina 42 as well. So maybe it just goes with the territory. I always used to joke, Lazy Jack system is not really for those that are lazy. One of our biggest frustrations, I think, with the Nautitech 46 Open is this vinyl cover that they put over to make it look sportier and that sort of thing. It is extremely discolored. This is not an issue that has been limited to just us. I guess the good thing is that you can perhaps remove and replace this. Hey, thank you so much for the privilege of your time and for watching this video. I sincerely hope that you got something out of this video. In our next video, we are going to talk about the 2022 Nautitech 46 Open while underway, either by motor or by sail.
And if you like what you saw, please click subscribe and alert and like. and you'll get an update when our next video comes out. See you soon.
Hey, thank you so much. See you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Yes.
Because you're so pretty. Hey, thank you for videos. Oh my God. Our first video is going to be the...
Quality. It's quality, right?
Sure, it's quality.
Is it quality in...
The third video, we are going to... What is the third video? The fourth is going to be... The fourth video is going to be about... Okay, you gotta put that down on video. You can't be looking at a
Script? I can't be looking at the script?
No. The fourth, the opinions I'm going to give are all about my opinion. Are you talking to me or are you talking to it?
Whatever.
Take 4. I believe that I've been... We each naturally have different perspectives in things. She gives a nod.
Well, what's important to... No.
No.
No, you can't tell that. Now you're giving the conclusion.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, this is what we're going to say.
You're gonna do that. Right.
Here, you first.
Cover that.
Okay, you like that? You like what you did?
I actually liked it.
Okay.
Hey, all right. Hey, thanks again.
I'll talk about subscribing.
All right. Hey.
Like this video. Wait, what? Why was it doing that? I said see you too. See you next time.
See you next time. We will not see you. You're going to see us.
Yeah.